There we discussed about the PSMA mills uh, where they are located in Punjab and the member status and different other factors with respect to their production and the quantity of sugarcane that is consumed in use. So today I'm going to explore how I came to this sheet. So while doing this, I came to realize that to map the supply chain properly, I might need the location of the mill, exact location. So I started to put down the mills, the names, all the names of the mills, and they were about 91. Now this data is for year 2015 only. Here we can say it's the source Pakistan Sugar Mill Association Annual Report 2015. Then I went to write down, took the another particular, the names, the full names, province, address. Okay, now there were two addresses. One was the office location, perhaps that was more in city and such area, and then there was the mid location that was in sort of tehsil or kind of district areas. So I tried to, or the division city. So I tried to, and this is uh, the rivers from where the mills perhaps might be benefiting, like because what happens is sugarcane requires some water, uh, a quantity of water to cultivate and to grow. So now I'm still in the search of finding out whether how much is this true or not, if sugarcane requires that much amount quantity of water or not, because the I read in one of the reports of Pakistan Sugar Mill Association that the sugar consumes comparatively less water than the rice, so there is sort of conflict, a contention about this as well, about the quantity of water that sugarcane uses. So I tried to map the rivers nearby these mill areas as well. And then the liaison office, something that is used for the correspondence, and the liaison office in the city. So the idea was, why this much details? Uh, how is this going to benefit in the research? So now the idea was to map the supply chain. Now how do you map the supply chain with this sort of data? What happens is, when the sugarcane is supplied from cultivated area to this mill and then to the broker and the wholesale and the retail and then to the consumer. So there is this whole chain that is going on. So what you do, you have to map the distance to understand how much uh, how much cost one mill is getting as compared to the another. It is possible this mill is selling sugar at lower price than this mill. Why? Because the profit margins are more. Why this mill is not making more sugar? Just assuming to make an understanding, because there is a possibility that this mill as is located at far distance area from the sugarcane cultivation area where the farmers cultivate the sugarcane, and this mill is nearer, so it gets less transportation cost, so is able to gain more margin and therefore is able to offer at more at beneficial prices. So now this is for the Punjab, right? And then there are mills for the Sindh, for KPK, and then for the Sindh. So with the Punjab, let's say, because they say, now there is possibility, just to understand the price mechanism, there is possibility that if this mill is in Okara, let's say this mill is in Okara, Dipalpur, and Okara might, because mill is near, just the cost to reduce, so mill is able, the nearby area is able to get sugar at the cheaper prices. But someone is Bhawal Nagar and it's going to another area that is not Bahawalpur. So that area is going to get sugar at much higher rates. So since this is the daily staple food, And this sort of difference in prices often causes sugar demand. When we think of the demand and supply principles of economics, so it tends to tell us that when demand increases, right? So the prices tends to rise. Prices tends to rise. Why? Because demand is more, so people want to buy uh, at whatever price is available because they want to make a purchase. But if, let's say, if now this principle works when demand is high and supply is short, right? This works. But when you say demand is high, you know, supply is high, so the prices are going to stay stable. Prices are going to stay stable. So this is the economics principle. So idea to learn about this was to find out, okay, how it's getting, let's say, um, m- uh, more expensive in some area which is near to Bhavalpur. Let's say it's XYZ area near to Bhavalpur, which is selling expensive because mill area is quite far and transportation cost adds. So they're getting at more prices. But the Bhavalnagar, it's getting at lower prices because the mill area is somehow near that area in Bhavalnagar. So they get to get at low prices. So to understand the price mechanism, I wanted to sort of create uh, this mapping. Let's say if I create a map, I map sugar mills on it, sugar mills location, and then I wanted to map the prices, sugar mills location, then map prices of that area, and then to see difference in prices, and then to see sugar sh- shortages and uh, excess sugar shortages and excess sugars storages. So just to study how how it impacts, and because every mechanism, when it's shortage of sugar, the prices rise, right? When the sugar is in excess, prices decrease, and that cause loss to mills, and this cause kind of profit. So it's not about making, not always. It can change as well. So the idea is not to, because this is, every time it's not the ideal situation, there are different factors that influence. So this whole might change, just to understand the principles. So this was the reason to study this. So we have covered took data from PSMA annual reports to map the exact location so as to measure the distance and understand the supply chain. Could solve many problems or provide insights into problems of mills and pharma, both related to costs that increase due to supply chain and distance, that we have also covered. Also, it provides insights into the stock storage and shortage problems. When do they occur? From where and why do they occur? Now, when we map the supply chain and look into the principles of economics and the science beneath the price and the supply chain, we tend to find out, okay, eventually what are the problems, when do they occur, from where do they occur, and why do they occur. Once we identify those small points, it becomes easier to solve them. But first you need to identify them, and for that you need to research, gather the data, identify, and do the analysis, and then identify. So this was the idea, and once that is identified, it provides insights into rising retail prices of sugar. So that we have covered. Also, how much does this all cost to farmers, and how easy it is for them to cultivate for its sugarcane requirement for water for cultivation. So that we have discussed when we discussed about the rivers and the water requirement, and then it will be sufficient for people of cities or districts of that province. And that we have discussed, if it's near, so it costs, or if it's in Bahawal Nagar for the, and the people for the in that area nearby, so it will be easy for them. Uh, Means sort of less expensive. And if it's in far area, that transportation cost might add, and for that far area to Bahawal Nagar will cost more for sugars. So that was it, and we might do some. Might discuss in the next video about the prices, indicative prices, and how I came back to here, and my exploratory research came here. So this is from my understanding, and just documenting the exploratory research process. Thank you.